So good morning everyone and welcome to our first webinar for our Clearing Open Day. My name is Natalia and I will be your host for the day. So we have a full program of activities today ranging from course panels and student life panels to webinars for supporting your applicants in preparation for September. So this particular session, we're excited to welcome parents, carers, teachers, and those supporting applicants through the process of applying through clearing. And this kind of session is designed to help you get to grips with clearing, St. George's process, but unfortunately we will not be able to comment on individual applications during this or any other session throughout today. But do please do send us your questions in the question box and we will have a Q&A panel at the end. So I'd now like to introduce you to Angela Kubacki, who is our Associate Dean of Admissions and who will be leading this presentation.
Thank you very much, Natalia, and welcome to everybody who's joining today for the webinar. First, I'm just going to explain a little bit about who I am. So I'm the Associate Dean for Admissions for all of our undergraduate courses. I'm also a health psychologist and head of clinical communication teaching at St. George's. I've been teaching at St. George's for over 13 years, and I absolutely love working with all the students and colleagues who are dedicated to improving healthcare. It's one of the highlights of kind of my day. Well, it has been, is just working with all of our students as well. So it's a fabulous place to work and study. And I just want to tell you a little bit more today about what we've got on offer. So, of course, we do realize that some of your applicants, they may not have applied yet, or they're pre-applicants thinking about St. George's, and some may have already applied and received an offer to study. So congratulations to them. In this webinar, we're going to give you just a brief overview about St. George's, tell you a little bit about clearing and adjustment and how they differ, what courses that we have available at this time, also a little bit about what to expect about the interview process, and some top tips for those of you who are supporting an applicant through this process. There will also be an opportunity at the end for you to ask me any questions that you might have about St. George's more broadly. So let's see. Firstly, just want to talk a little bit about St. George's itself. So it was established in 1752, and we have a long history of improving human health. You might know that we are the only specialist institution, and we have about 4,000 students who are all focused on medicine, science, and health. In 1980, the St. George's actually moved to its current site in Tooting, and you can see it on the slide there. You might recognize the helipad if you've ever watched 24 Hours in A&E, because we've been featured on that show, that the hospital has been featured on that show. And we do share our campus with one of the largest and busiest teaching hospitals in the UK, which is St. George's Trust Hospital. The majority of our lecturers and academics are practicing clinicians and scientists who are leading in the most innovative educational practices and groundbreaking research projects. And that is a real bonus of training and working in a university that is sharing a site with such a large, busy, and vibrant hospital. Now, we just want to find out a little bit about how your applicant is feeling about their results by running a quick poll. We do recognize that this year things have been incredibly different, and there's been a lot of unexpected things happening with results day. So I'm going to give you a few seconds to just answer this. Let us know, how is your applicant feeling about their results? So if you just select one of those, we'll get a sense of just kind of how people are feeling. Okay, so we're going to close the poll now and let's see. Oh, okay, so we've got half of you are feeling content with your results, and some of you are feeling disappointed. And we do recognize that a lot of students maybe did get their results and were feeling disappointed because they didn't get what they had expected or what they had been predicted. And also maybe the course they were planning to do is now no longer available. I would like to remind you at this point that we've also got a session at 11 o'clock with our head of counseling on managing uncertainty. And I think that's it's something really to consider at the moment for our young people and applicants about how we're going to manage the uncertainty of the unknown right now when things have changed. So we do recognize this is a very difficult time for everybody. But that's one of the benefits, I think, of clearing, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that, is that there are so many options available for students at the moment. So clearing no longer has the stigma that it maybe once did many, many years ago, where people might have considered it was, you know, for courses that nobody wanted, or it was a last chance to get a place. That's no longer the case. Clearing actually just helps match applicants to university places that are yet to be filled. So clearing is available on some very popular courses. And I know last year and for several years, our medicine course had been open in clearing. This year, we didn't open in clearing as we had filled our places before, but there are still lots of really, really interesting and useful and great courses that are available in clearing. Actually, some stats show that 25% of university places are found and given in clearing. So that's quite a large number. You know, a quarter of places are through clearing. So it's a really good opportunity to consider maybe courses you hadn't considered before, training into a new field, or maybe just taking some time to study to get to where you want to go in the future. So how to use clearing. If your applicant is eligible for clearing, they'll be given an option to add a clearing choice in the next step section when they sign into their UCAS track. They can then search for the vacancies that are available in clearing using the UCAS search tool. And once they've found the course that they're interested in, you need to encourage them to kind of give that university a call just to check for vacancies. They can give them a call, they can look online just to see that that course is still open. Now, if the university does offer the applicant a place, they'll be able to add this choice in their UCAS track. I think that that's something that you can do when you go into UCAS. So just remember, clearing only allows for one choice at a time. So while your applicant might be looking at different options, you can only put one choice down. And once the choice has been selected, they can't add another unless they've been unsuccessful with the first one. So you have to kind of think, what course is it I really want to do, and go for that one first. If they want to apply elsewhere, once they've added a choice, they will need to ask that university to cancel their place by ringing them up or sending them an email, and then they can apply back again through clearing. So there's another part of the process called adjustment. So I'm going to go on to that because that is slightly different. And if your applicant is eligible for adjustment, they should know because it will come up in UCAS. So what is the difference between clearing and adjustment? Adjustment is only available to students who have exceeded the grade requirements for their firm choice. So if they actually got higher grades than when were required for their offer, then they can enter into adjustment. And it started on A-level results day, and it gives your applicant the chance to switch to an alternative university, of course, if they wish to. So once they've kind of seen that they are eligible, they can click to register to take part in adjustment. So the applicant will have 5 days from results day, or whenever your firm offer becomes unconditional, to use the adjustment. The trade-up system officially ends on the 31st of August. And while they search for a new course, their original conditional firm offer remains safe. So they're not losing that offer while they're still looking around to see if they want to kind of do something else that maybe has a higher entry grade profile than the one that they had confirmed with. So unless they confirm that they'd like to go elsewhere, they keep their firm offer. At the end of the 5-day period, if they decide not to use adjustment, they'll still have that CF place at their university. And if you need further information on the specifics of the process, just be sure to check with UCAS or check on the UCAS system, because it does explain how to use this. So what I want to do now is show you our courses that are available in clearing at the moment. So these are the list of our undergraduate courses. And we do have places available if you're interested. I will say that St. George's was #1 for the 5th year running in the Complete University Guide for graduate prospects, which means that nearly all, so 99% of our graduates go straight into jobs or further study upon completion of any of these degrees at St. George's. And we are really proud of this because it does show that we've got good, valuable degrees that lead into jobs, and many of our jobs lead into work within the NHS. So whether you're thinking of a career in science or you're wanting a job in healthcare, St. George's really is an excellent place to study. And to apply for any of these courses, your applicant will just need to go onto the St. George's website and fill out an online application. So they should ensure that they have their results and transcripts to hand to make sure that the application process really is as smooth as possible for them. We don't want to give any more kind of stress or undue kind of worry. If they've got their results and transcripts, then they can apply and complete that process. Once they've submitted the application, it's going to be reviewed by a member of our clearing team. And if the application is successful, it will move on to the next stage, and they will be contacted by a member of our team, either by a phone call or by email. So there's our courses there. And one thing I do need to explain again is whether the applicant will need an interview will depend on the course that they've applied for. So some of our courses are assessed just solely on application, your grades, and your personal statement. And those are our science courses. So that's biomedical science for our BSc and the clinical pharmacology course, BSc. However, some of our courses do require remote interviews. And these courses involve a selection interview, which is aligned to the NHS values. And as these degrees tend to lead directly into NHS jobs, we need to ensure that those applicants will have the values and attributes required for those roles within the NHS. So these are going to be done this year via telephone or with a multi-mini interview, which is an MMI. And you will need to then record a video of those responses to the questions and send that in. But if you're applying for one of our courses that does require a multi-mini interview, instructions will be sent about how to undertake this interview. And once it's been submitted, you'll receive further information on the outcomes of the application in due course. So please, I can ask that you look at the information that the university sends you about the type of interview that's required for your course and follow those instructions to be able to give you the best possible chance for your interview. Okay, so just let's see, moving on. There's some top tips really to kind of help you today. Make sure that you're able to do your research about the courses. Right now, if your applicant is feeling a bit disappointed, maybe upset or anxious, they may not feel that they're the best at communicating all of the important information to you. However, the last thing they need in the build-up to all of this is really to be bombarded with questions. So if you can, as a parent, a carer, or a teacher, just try to do a little bit of research yourself about the important times and dates, and that will kind of save a little bit of stress. So you can help support your applicant by having a look around to see what else they may need to do. And also keep calm. I think one of the things for us as parents and for us as teachers is to really, if our applicants didn't get the results that they were expecting, try not to add to their disappointment by kind of projecting our own. We really need to stay calm, help support them, be constructive, particularly if at the moment they're being overwhelmed by friends who are celebrating their successes. So just keep calm. This is an opportunity to find something that is going to, prove to be a really good opportunity for them to maybe change or try something different. But also be reassuring. If your applicant has fallen short of the grades that they needed, they'll probably be feeling upset and worried about what the future holds. But just try to reassure them that this isn't a problem and there are many ways to make the best of the situation. And for students who maybe were feeling really disappointed that they didn't get a place into a course like medicine, there are so many ways and routes into becoming a doctor and into medicine that getting in at the first chance is not the worst case scenario. There are other things that they'll be able to do if medicine is really what they want to do. But also, and I really want to stress this, please make sure that the applicants are making any of the phone calls themselves. So if your applicant is going through clearing and adjustment, they need to contact us directly to talk about available places, mainly for consent and confidentiality and GDPR, but also because we want to be able to help them, and we want them to kind of take the initiative so we know it's really what they want to be doing. We know that you're going to want to help, especially if you feel that they're too upset to be talking on the phone, but the universities really want to talk to the prospective students. If your child isn't ready to talk, it is better to wait until they are and let them do the talking. And again, I'll stress that if they're feeling very anxious about this, our talk at 11 o'clock with the head of counseling on managing uncertainty can be really, really useful. Okay, so today, what I will encourage, let's see if we move on to the next slide, is the next steps for what they can do. Let's see, I think if we moved on to the next slide about our next steps, we would ask you to take a look at the program for today, join some of the sessions that are happening, anything that's interested, you can find out more and take advantage of the opportunities to hear from the course leads and the academics to get a feel for what the courses are all about. Even just have a look, if you Google or go onto the NHS website to look at what opportunities are there for diagnostic radiographers or therapeutic radiographers, or anybody who's going to study clinical physiology in our healthcare science course, you'll find out more about those courses. Also, I want to encourage you to speak to some of the current students who are studying at St. George's on the courses about their experience via the system Unibuddy. So you can see there on the slide how to access Unibuddy. And again, this gives you direct contact with some of our students who are studying at St. George's, and they can tell you all about it. But the most important thing really is to keep positive, and keep positive for your applicant, that this may not be what they were expecting, but it's going to prove to kind of be fruitful, and they're going to find something that they do want to do.
Hi everyone, I think Angela's internet may just have spiked up for a moment, so we'll just wait for her to hopefully come back. Whilst we do that, please do send us in any questions that you may have. You know, we're really excited to kind of answer any specific questions. As I said at the beginning, unfortunately, we're unable to comment on any kind of individual applications that have been put into clearing, but we do have a very kind of robust process for clearing. And, you know, at St. George's, we are here to kind of support you and advise you on your kind of best choices for your next steps. So do bear with us whilst we hopefully get Angela back to answer some questions for you, but do send your questions in, kind of anything about you know, St. George's as a university, as an institution, anything you want to know about the process in terms of how you can support your applicant, anything about the courses, although we will have a full program of sessions today that you can join.
You hear me?
So yes, we can hear you, Angela. So thank you for coming back and not leaving us. So we'll now take some questions. And somebody sent in a question about their son, who unfortunately they didn't get into medicine this year, but what can they do now? Oh, bear with us, audience. I think we might have lost Angela again. Hopefully she will pop back on. But whilst we do that, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about our program for the day. So we've got quite a few sessions on. We've got a course panel next, which is our Explore Our Allied Health courses. So we'll have representatives from our therapeutic radiography course, diagnostic radiography, occupational therapy, physiotherapy, and our paramedic science course. So we'll have admissions tutors from all the courses there who will be giving you their 3 highlights on the course that they want to share, and also they'll be answering questions. Hi, Angela.
I have just phoned in now on the phone call, so I'm here to answer some questions.
Perfect. So if I take you back to that first question, unfortunately someone's son didn't get into medicine, so what could they do now?
Okay, I know that there's a lot of students at the moment who are very concerned that they didn't get the grades they needed to get into medicine, but I want to reassure you that there are so many routes into medicine, and students who are dedicated to studying to become a doctor will find a way. It is not uncommon for students to apply to medicine at least twice before they get a place. So that is not, they haven't failed at anything. I know they're feeling, oh my gosh, I failed, but really, doing a degree before studying medicine is a really good way to prepare them for the rigors and for them to be ready for university study at medical school. So one really good option at St. George's is to consider our biomedical science program. One of the main reasons is that you're already working in a biomedical science environment which is in the middle of a hospital, and it's preparing you well. We also have a module in the 3rd year which is dedicated for biomedical science graduates who are aiming to go on to study medicine. So there's opportunities there, but entering as a graduate into a medical course is very, very common. Lots of people do a degree first and then decide they want to study medicine. And a lot of people do a degree knowing that they want to study medicine and apply for graduate entry or apply to any of the other medical courses. So both of our medical courses at St. George's, there's a 4-year graduate entry course and a 5-year course. Both of those courses now accept graduates, and we do accept a lot of graduates who tend to come from our biomedical science course. We have a specific pathway, which is called our clinical transfer pathway, for students to transfer into the 4th year of our medical course upon completion of their biomedical science degree at St. George's. So there's options there for people who do want to study medicine, didn't necessarily get the grades to start the course this autumn, but they could start biomedical science and within 2-3 years be ready to, apply for a clinical transfer program into our medical program, and then upon completion, enter in. So that is a good option. But clinical pharmacology is another really interesting degree to do, to kind of think about other options for people who are really interested in science and maybe are also thinking about medicine down the line.
Thank you for that response. And as I was just mentioning, we've got a course panel next session for allied health courses. And for the courses that Angela was mentioning, we have a course panel towards the end of the day around 3 p.m. For our clinical pharmacology, biomedical science and healthcare science courses. So our second question is from somebody who said, my sister has had difficulty in preparing for interviews. How can I help her prepare for an interview with St. George's?
Okay, this is a good question, because interviews can be quite nerve-wracking. And I know a lot of people had been preparing for face-to-face interviews, but unfortunately this year, considering the current pandemic, we're unable to offer face-to-face interviews. So to help support somebody who's preparing for an interview, firstly, remind them that it is important that they know enough about the course and the degree that they want to study on. So to kind of maybe do some research about that course, think about what qualities and attributes they have that would make them suited to that course. Maybe considering how they could explain that to an interviewer, or at least answer a question about what are their skills and attributes that they have that would make them good at being whatever it is that they're applying for. Also, read all of the information that they get from their university about preparing for the interview. So there are things like just having a quiet place to do the interview, making sure that you've got the technical equipment you need, whether you're going to be recording your video on a phone. Also reviewing their personal statement from their UCAS form to remind them about the kind of reasons why they want to do the course. And if they've decided to change course, really just do a bit of research about the course and about the jobs that people on that course might be going into. I think really remembering it's important to do some practice interviews. So if it is a remote interview where they're going to be talking to a computer and recording, maybe just doing some practice on the phone or on the webcam. So using the software, using the equipment to kind of make them a little bit more comfortable.
Great. So our next question is, what is the campus like with it being shared with the hospital?
Okay, I actually think this is one of the real benefits of studying within the hospital. So although it's a shared campus, there are separate wings and buildings that are dedicated to the university spaces for students only. So it's not like as a student you're having to be right next to wards or work, right next to where the patients are. There are separate areas of the site. So the library and the teaching rooms, even the student union floor, which is on the second floor of our Hunter wing, and that's where the counseling services are, and there's a cafe. So that is separate from where the hospital is. It's not far away. Obviously, you can get there, but they are separate. So you don't have patients always around on those floors that are dedicated to students. But one of the interesting things is that when you walk in sometimes in the morning, you may be walking past patients or you may be walking past relatives, and they are around. So it does remind you that you are working for, you're working towards helping people and helping patients, because you can see them around. So I think it does kind of get you into that mindset that you're a student, but you're training to do something really, really important. We have lots of clinical cubicles and simulation suites as well, which are dedicated towards students. So I think it's like having a micro community within the hospital.
Great. So we've got another question. So somebody is from Malaysia. How safe is London and the area around the university?
Okay, well, London is a big city, and like most big cities, you do have to kind of just be aware of your surroundings. But Tooting itself, where St. George's is located, is a really vibrant and diverse place. For students, it's an excellent place to study because there are so many students around, and all the shops are very student friendly. There's a lot of different restaurants. There's lots of different, lots of places to go, and you do find that people are very accepting and happy to have students around. But also keeping in mind, because St. George's Hospital is so big, you have a lot of healthcare professionals who also live in and around Tooting. So it is a very friendly place. You're often interacting with people that you've seen in the hospital if you're working with people. So you go out for your lunch break and you may also see some of the academics and some of the doctors that you've been working with, as well as all the local people who live in Tooting. So I know that for a fact it was voted one of the top 10 coolest places to visit in the world in the Lonely Planet Guide. So Tooting is quite a really great place to be to study.
Yes, so, and I can also say from, I guess, personal experience of working and with students and working on the campus, Tooting is a really vibrant community. And I think, you just have to come here to kind of pick up the diversity in the area, and also the kind of generating in the area in terms of the market and the local restaurants and shops that they're really kind of investing in the area. So I think that's all the questions that we have time for today. I just wanted to thank Angela for kind of leading that presentation and being here with us this morning. And as I've said, please do sign up for the rest of our sessions today. They really are going to help inform you about St. George's. We'll have panels where you can ask further questions. And thank you again for joining us.
Good luck, everybody, today, and I hope you do find a course that's right for your applicant.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.